Hi guys. So today I will be talking about the examples for the main and the central idea that we discussed in the last class. So just a reiteration of what we discussed. A main idea is something which is the purpose of the passage. It will be visible in the first few lines of the first paragraph, or it will be visible as a new idea in every paragraph. So it will be that small particular central purpose on which the whole RC is based. Compared to that, the central idea is specific details which just elaborate, reiterate and illustrate the main idea. So our purpose is to find out the main idea so that we can get rid of all the froth and we can get rid of all the details which will not be specifically required for answering questions more often than not. So let us start with the examples. This is the first example. Take 15-20 seconds and just go through it. Yeah, so if you get a hang of it now, so this is a general first paragraph of any passage which will be based on this topic. So now how do we start classifying what is the main idea and what is the central idea? So what I've done for you is I've highlighted a few words, if you see. So the words that are highlighted in the red are a system of barriers to keep the floodwater away. And it is obvious that it is by the Dutch because you can see Dutch as the first word of the first line. So you know that the context is about the Dutch system. And there are other words like dikes and dams and storm barriers, canal dikes and holding ponds and all that. So if you look carefully on these highlighted words, you will realize that a system of barriers to keep the floodwater away by the Dutch, this is your main idea. As you can see, this is there in the first 2-3 lines of the whole passage. There might be other paragraphs which will be below them giving more details about the Dutch system or how they evolved or how other countries adopted the Dutch system or what are the challenges in the Dutch system or what are the outcomes, what are the consequences, what are the suggested improvements. So every other passage or every other paragraph after this particular first paragraph will build upon this main idea, which is the Dutch system of barriers to keep the floodwater away. So here our general idea is, or the main idea is, a system of barriers to keep the floodwater away. And the specific idea or the central idea is about dikes, dams, storm barriers, canal dikes and holding ponds. You can also see a few numbers here and there and a few details of what is the first line, how long it is, how long has it been, where all is it, what is the purpose. These are all specific details. Okay. So now let us move on to the next example. So go through the, so what we can do rather is, so the first and the most important point becomes the first line. And that is, as the Dutch build their cities, they also built flood barriers to keep the floodwater away. Rest of it which is struck off is just froth. You will mostly not need to understand this, or you can just skim through it so that if you have a question saying what is the first line of barriers, which is like a data question which is directly from the RC, you can pick it up from here so you know where it is, but you just have to skim through it. So this is the second example. Take 5 to 7 seconds and just go through it. Yeah, so in this example, as you can see, we're talking about Lake Baikal, which is visible in the first line again. So you need to know the context. And now the colors that you see, the colored words, the red colored word, as usual, it's unique and isolated ecosystem. The green word is plants and animals, and the blue words are unique Baikal freshwater seal. Omu is a unique fish. So if you see over here, you'll realize that its unique and isolated ecosystem of Lake Baikal is the main idea or the main purpose of the whole passage. If you read the rest of the lines carefully, you'll realize that every data point, every fact, every example, every illustration has been given only to reiterate that Lake Baikal has a unique isolated ecosystem. There is nothing which is being added as an idea. So this is again a first paragraph of a passage. Compared to that unique Baikal freshwater seal, Omu is a unique fish. These are all specifics which I do not care about at the moment because I need to know only the main idea. Compared to that, plants and animals is something which is between general and specific. So you remember I showed you that arrow from general to specific, which is like a gradation. I told you there will not be a definite divide or categorization. So this plants and animals is that transformation or the transition from general to specific. Again, I can now divide it as the main idea being to scientists, Lake Baikal is of particular interest. The supporting idea being the 1,000 species of plants and animals, and the rest of it again is just froth. Now let us see examples of repetition on how some words are repeated or some ideas are repeated or some synonymous words or sentences are paraphrased and used. So this we need to know so that we can cut off the froth again. So for the repetition purpose, if you read these 5-6 lines, you'll see that the concept is something related to human beings not acting in the human civilized way and trying to kill each other, or in act of duty or murder. Now if I highlight the words, you'll see civilized human beings trying to kill me, there is any enmity against somebody, there are committing murder, there's blowing somebody to pieces, and there is evil. So all of these words, all of these phrases, all of these clauses are all paraphrasing to the same idea about how people are killing each other, or how there is some evil in the society, or how there is about murder. So even though it's the same word, it has synonyms have been used: kill, enmity, murder, blowing someone, evil, against somebody. So you see there's a lot of repetition. So you can keep on skimming very quickly through such lines. This will help you save a lot of time with RCs. Now let us see a bigger example. So now for this particular reason, the reason I've given you a big example or a big passage is so that you do not get bogged down by the number of lines that are there, because I'm going to tell you bigger the passage, larger is the repetition. Because the main idea will remain just one idea. In any paragraph or any passage, there will be just one main idea. So how much can any author add to it? They can add specifics or they can add some details or examples, but there's a limitation to it. Hence, they keep on repeating it and reiterating it in different manners. So just take 10 seconds and go through this passage. Yeah, so if you see clearly, the words which are emboldened, just forget the colors for now. The words like afraid, dark, suspicious, hidden, cannot comprehend, controlled, suspicions of conspiracies, cover up, dark, conspiracy buffs, sinister form of order, conspiracy, cover up, being kept in the dark. If you see, all of this talks about fear and darkness. All of this are synonyms of these particular words, dark and fear. So the concept overall is going to be the same main idea, that people are talking, or the passage is talking about what are people afraid of, what leads to fear, and what is a dark side of somebody's fear. Now if you focus on the colored words, if you see, the word dark has been repeated thrice in the passage, which has, I guess, around 17-18 lines. The word conspiracies has been repeated 4 times in itself. Forget about the synonyms that are being used. Okay, the word suspicion has been used twice. I have not highlighted it because it was less than, it's just 2 times. But if you see, out of the total highlighted words, 3 of these words, or rather there are 6 to 7 repetitions of a similar word, of the same word. So if you see, there is just a repetition of the concept, of the word or the sentence or the clause. So now why am I telling you this? Why do we need to identify repetition? We need to identify repetition because this will help you skim away the froth and understand that all this repetition has only one main idea. This will also help you when you check your main idea. So if you believe that your main idea is fear and darkness and suspicion, all the words which are repeated continuously till the very last statement will reassure you that yes, this is your main idea. So repetition helps you in checking your main idea as well as eliminating all the froth. So these were the examples, and I look forward for the next module. I hope this was good for you. Done for the day.